First of all, the coach must understand the philosophy and methodology of the club. So he must understand that he's not the center of the process. He's preparing 30 persons, he's preparing 40 players. They are the center of the process. What happens when you have a group of 11 and one make a lot of sixes? All attention comes to this. But we teach them, we show them that you never do something alone. It's part of a group. If you have respect for everybody, everybody will have respect back to you. If you play for your team will play for you. But you see, we don't build a player, we develop the play. If you build a robot, you can put all the things you want inside, and then you have this robot. With human leagues, you must develop and take the best from it. We work a lot. If it should be a secret, it should be. We work a lot of power of decision. I don't kick the ball anymore. My coach don't kick the ball anymore. So we don't need to go make the decision. It should be the future in 10 years. I think, my just feeling, that we don't have any more positions in sectors. Like if you are forward, we're forward. For the left, for the right, for the middle. Maybe you can have all the three forwards in the same side to make a superiority to win. I think this transition between positions will go into foot.
Hello, coaches. Welcome back to another Modern Soccer Coach podcast. Big one today, part 2 of the Brazil tour. This week, I'm joined by Andre Medeiros, 25 years shaping the methodology at Fluminense Academy. Players like Thiago, Silva, Marcelo, Richarlison, Fabinho, all came from Fluminense, all came from this great club. What a unique experience it was visiting. Andre let me watch the sessions. He did a presentation for me. We had lunch and then we sat down for this interview. I think you're going to absolutely love it. Please make sure you like. Please make sure you subscribe. And a massive, massive thank you again to TetraBrazil, who set up the trip of a lifetime for me to go over there and visit these unique clubs: Botafogo, Fluminense, Vasco da Gama, Flamengo. TetraBrazil run exclusive tours to Brazil for teams of all ages and levels. They can also bring professional Brazilian coaches to your club, delivering the authentic Jogo Bonito experience. There's no better time to connect. Please visit TetraBrazil.com. I'll put the link below. Also, if you want to reach out and ask me any questions about them, feel free to do so. Again, please don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Here is Andre. Enjoy. Perfect. Andre, thank you so much.
Oh, it's a pleasure for us. We always receive with an open mind. We are open to everything that you want to develop. As we work with process, we believe in this. The things that I can show you, if you bring me back something even nearer or even bigger, it would be wonderful.
Amazing. Amazing. First question, you showed me an unbelievable presentation of the methodology and the values and the mission of the club. The first word at the top of the values was respect. Was that positioned in a way that it's the top because of a reason? Respect?
And I always present starting by the respect. Without respect, never happens. So it comes first, then all the values that we have. Respect brings you for your capacity of understand. When you respect, you know your position, you know what you can do. No matter the level that you reach, if you have respect, you will still be growing that because you respect the other last year.
We would just talk after lunch or over lunch about the work that the people and a lot of players walking around, or staff members, everyone saying hello, everyone work. How would you, when you're teaching a player about respect, how do you what What standards do you have for that there? How do you?
You know, when you talk about respect and you have a good system on for every, you talk about respect, and you are always talking together about pertinence, pertinence, that you must take part of something. And if you are part of something, you feel that you have, you come from this group, it comes to easier. So that's why we talk about respect, but we talk about the feeling of being part of a group.
Had two more things that jumped out were team spirit and culture. Sometimes those are together in some organizations. You put them separately. Uh, is that the culture of the organization, the team spirit of the 11, or how do you define culture, team spirit?
Brazilians are always competitive when we talk about soccer. Always. Since you are a young boy, you want. So it's more about the culture that you bring this. But it's also know that this time nowadays you have many more value for the ones that show something bigger because he's exposed is so. And we see you are not playing a sport that's played by one. If you are an athlete, if you are a swimmer, if you are a tennis player, maybe you can feel just near. But even on this, you just perform better because you have other guys that make you perform better. You never have a fast player, a fast man in athleticism if you don't have a rivalry that makes him run a little bit higher, in a higher level. And what happens when you have a group of 11 and one make a lot of sixes? All attention comes to this. But we teach them, we show them that you never do something alone. He's part of a group. And when he's part of a group, we build this capacity because they learn about the spirit of winning together. But we teach them about team spirit, showing that if you have respect for everybody, everybody will have respect back to you. If you play for your team will play for you. If you make your team success, you try to make everybody play better, you will play better because they will perform together you know higher level. So you can bring individual benefits when you achieve the result of the team. Sometimes players are very qualified when told them, okay, you want to be seen. But if our team doesn't get in the quarterfinals, in the semifinal, in the final, no one will watch you. You want to be seen? Make your team there in the final and do the best all the match, but not the best for you. The best is not something to be exposed. Do the best for the winning of your team.
Where do I start? You showed me the list of players, and then some that I thought I had a very idea research of coming through here, and there was another 20 that came through, and that's seeing their names of the pictures all over the place. Um, I feel as if in youth development around the world, we want to create a certain type of player. And one thing that I noticed when I saw is that they're so different. Speak of attackers, defenders, the wide defenders, central defenders, uh, center forwards. So with that variety of player and personality, how would you define in the Fluminense player? How would that look?
Is that what is really our spirit? What we think on this is that we have a model of play. Yes, the model of play can be held. But you see, we don't build a player, we develop the play. If you build a robot, you can put all the things you want inside, and then you have this robot. With human beings, you must develop, take the best from on it, and you cannot have the notes of the points defining one person. I know that one defender must be taller, must be stronger, he must be uh, very good at passing, very good at tackling. We know all the qualities. When we define a player from one position, we put all the qualities together. but we give emphasis for the characteristics of the boy. What that means that I can have a player who is very, very good defender. They have one of his characteristics in a high level, another one is not. Also, he's not complete player. Why not? Imagine that you can build, you can transform, you can adapt these characteristics of these boys to compensate. You can train him to be better on the things that he were not so strong. You can cut out his weakness. You can improve his qualities. But you see, you never have a player like in the paper. We never have a player perfect in the paper. What makes he perfect is the time that he develops, the things that I learned. I saw one time one movie that a guy told about, okay, but imagine if you can take out all of your losses, all of your suffering outside from your mind, what be good? And the characters, the man that was the actor, told them, okay, but I am what I did in success and what I failed. What I failed, what I suffered, teach me to be different. So I cannot take out my suffers. My suffers can be a reminder that what I can do better to don't pass for the same fees. My weeks are not defined forever. I can work hard so that they can be developing. So if we develop on this meaning that the man is developing, we are human beings. So you must understand their characters. You must accept the way they are and try to be the best. Try to develop the best from them. So why can do a lot of diversity? Because we know what's the best for that position. But we have the player on that position can do the best that he can on this position. And the player of 2001 is not the same player that I have born in 2005. They will be always different. And you see, this is the magic of the food. Just take an example. You can look at Ronaldinho Gaúcho. You can see Ronaldinho Gaúcho and you can see Rivaldo. Different players, different styles, different bodies, different way of running, all of this. But they play quite in the same position in different ways. One was the best of the world 1 year. 2 years after, the other one was the best of the world. Playing like the same position, completely different. So you don't look for one boy this boy is fantastic. No, this boy, when he touched the ball, when he ran, he show you how he developed, what level that he have. He's showing you something. What he showed you is what you need to take and make it the always will be different. You cannot imagine a player, no, I want the perfect play. The perfect play is someone that in a part of the moments on his life was not perfect, but he developed it to be more prepared.
It's fast even on that subject. I feel it in the US, North American culture, because perhaps we don't have that conveyor belt of world class talent. I think, and coaches don't see it up close a lot. When they see potential, they get well excited and they praise potential very highly. You know, that's used the man's whose stadium out there we're looking at. When you see Marcelo at 13, 14, 15, how do you as a coach, without saying, wow, is this kid area, how do you then take that approach and say, listen, we've got to add this, or we've got to change this, or develop this, or how do you take that approach?
We tell them what he have in quality. You make him testify and show his quality. We show him something that he could do better, and then we try to compensate. And you never accept the normal way. You push them up when you test them to go. Using the example that you told about Marcelo. When Marcelo was 15 years old, he played in the under 70s. When he was 16 years old, he played on the under 20s. And when he was 16 years old, he played in the first team. So if you put something that is hard, but that boy can support, maybe you are giving him a chance to explode. Imagine that one boy is perfect on techniques, perfect on his techniques, but he plays always with someone that he doesn't need to use all of his potential. Playing 50% of his potential, he win the match. Do you think that boy will make the effort to be 100%? No, he'll accommodate because it's easy. Sometimes you need to push them up to make it hard. Using a comparison with mathematics. Who is the best teacher of mathematics? The one that makes the boys learn and get a 6 degree in 10? Or is the one that told you, no, you didn't did it well, do it better, try to give you hard exercises, so when the exam comes, the boy can teach and get 10 in 10. This is the good coach. This is the good process. This is the good training that didn't limitate the boy. Take the best from the boy with that kind of a feeling. We don't see one boy with 13 years old and say, oh, he will be the top player. No, we see this boy can be bright, but we need to guide this way. We need to push him up to achieve. If you don't push, you just stay. And of course, it's a joint. It's we, family, and school together working to take the best from the player. It's a player development. Everything can happen. But for someone that is growing up with happiness, you learn more. The one that's growing up with a good objective for the future, he will have a higher level because we look far from where he are. Who's this?
One of the most impressive things in your presentation for me uh, was the part on, and it surprised me as well as impressive, the education piece. In talking, I've been in Brazil 4 days, and I've talked to quite a few people, and it seems like, in terms of raw materials, footballers and spirit and culture, this is the place in the world to be. But the support around education is a challenge in the favelas at certain city areas. Uh, you are the first person that's articulated how, well, first of all, it's in the tripod of values. Second of all, it's that the ceremony that you talked about graduation. Talk to me about
You see, in the past, many of the players didn't think that they should study a lot. Oh, I will succeed as professional player. And everybody thought, no, you must study because if something happens, you don't achieve, you can have another career. Developed different year by year. We start to build this kind of thinking that we have. That a better player starts on a better body achieves. A better player must understand about the things that yet, and also he learn. Imagine that I can prepare this player everything, but he didn't move anything from the way. Maybe there will be a point in the future that he's very talented and there is another guy very talented. And the coach must decide, oh, this guy can give me 5 solutions for one special moment here. This guy is not so mentality open. He's not so open-minded. He's quickly understand, but he doesn't understand too much. When I teach him something, he takes a long time to understand. So he just can get true decisions. Maybe these true decisions are fantastic and they succeed. But this guy that have 5, 6 different possibilities of decision is much prepared for the future. So we must continue just play with this or start building players like this. That's why we start to do players that can understand more, learn more, and players that learn more about culture, communication. They can learn themselves when they go outside. I see players that have traveled to countries that are very difficult language. I have boys play in Russia and Arabia, in Japan, and some of them uh, started to be different. They started to learn the local language to get more successful because we made this process to make them understand the way that you are, understand your environment, understand your everything that is together you, so that then you can develop more. That's why you talk about have better students, and then we'll be better place.
Yeah. On that topic, I asked you a question earlier about the change in players today and players 10 years ago, and you said something interesting about the yeah, there's more noise, there's maybe a less focus today, but there's more opportunity to impacting in those areas of technology or development as well.
You see, the world is changing, and you can just talk about the changing of the world fighting against the chance that do you win? Never. It never retrocede. Oh, stop using the internet. We stop using the. Well, no, it never happens. What happens? What it brings more in you. And the example I told you, you can access a lot of information in 1 minute. I can receive information from 10 different things. The only thing is that maybe there's a superficial information. What we must still maintain the capacity of go down very hard on a topic. Don't be just or a multi or multiple culture. Don't understand about a lot of things, but just a little. No, try to understand a lot about many different circumstances, and then you get up more. What happens that this kind of opportunity helps you on find something that could be easier for you. In the past, you have like 10 careers, and then you're choosing 10 careers. Now, each 10 careers have 10 different areas, so maybe something is very good for you. But how you get prepared for this? If you have been prepared for all of their 10 topics of this career. It's the same in football. You can be a player that can do a lot of things, but are not so good in anyone, so you are not a player. But if you are very good midfielder that also can play for the right, can attack, can defend, can score goals, can dribble, can protect, who you are the great player. So what's your best capacity? Maybe one is top than the other ones, but you can do a lot. That's the comparison that we do on the nowadays. You have a lot of option. Try to get this, but not just be superficial. Try to find something that really brings you for touch you in the heart. You try to go very, very far from on this topic because that can prepare you a lot. As I told you, example in the past, you had players that played like shooting. They shoot with all the parties, shoot any place, but maybe they don't shoot so specific with a kind than some guys do nowadays. There are guys nowadays that have like one or two shooting, but when he do this, it's quietly perfect that you score the goal. That's what you're telling. Now we have more some specific, but we must try to have both multiple topics, but also specific topics.
Hello, coaches. We will take a quick break here. TetraBrazil is the industry leader in exclusive custom tours to Brazil. For 25 years, they have taken teams, players from youth clubs to national teams over to Brazil to experience the culture, landscape, and experience elite level football in the country. Teams get to train, compete, and live the Jogo Bonito experience. Also brilliant for coaches like myself to go over there and experience the landscape, experience the culture, experience conversations like this one with Andre. A massive, massive thank you to Luis, Jose, and the team for looking after me for the few days that I was over in Brazil. It was an unbelievable experience. I highly, highly recommend you check out TetraBrazil. They also work with clubs in the US to bring over Brazilian coaches and help you support your players with Brazilian methodology and professional curriculums as well. I will put the link below for you to check them out. And if you want to ask me and follow up any questions about them, please feel free. Gary at modernsoccercoach.com. I have no problem recommending. I have no problem sharing my experiences with the TetraBrazil group. Absolutely phenomenal. Highly, highly recommend you check it out. The access you get to these teams and these clubs is unbelievable. Again, link is below. Thanks for checking them out. Back to Andre. Yeah, the when we were out earlier watching practice, I was watching this exercise. I said to you, I really like this setup, and you pointed out to the was a gentleman standing by the field, and I essentially got he was a linesman. I thought he was looking at the offside line. You explained that his job was just to look at individuals. Can you talk a little bit about that individual focus with Chris?
Is a modern way that we fought. We didn't have this kind of job 5 years ago, 6 years ago. We started 6 years ago because we find in the group that everybody is focused because you are playing competition. Everybody is focused on competition and training day by day to be better. And but you have a competition in the end of the week, so we are preparing to have your team better for the weekends. And what happens is that we saw that a lot of boys didn't take care on this competition because, like in a team of 30, you have 11 that will be the first study boys. We had like 7 CBC did 7 chance, and we have 12 that didn't get inside the list. So what happens is that these guys work all the weekends, and if all the week hardly. So in the weekend they don't play. What happens is that they are not shown as the other. But this guy that is the technical supervisor, he's always taking care of everybody. He can take a look and have these numbers of developments of a boy that is just not going through the list. But he's growing up. He's growing up. Sometimes he suggests for the patrol, give opportunity for this guy in the training. And that's why we sometimes compete in other competition also to bring this kind of players together because development is something very different. And some guys get in an age that they develop very fast. There are other guys that develop it year by year. So as it's individual, there's percentage of development. You must give opportunity. How we give you opportunity if you don't see that? When we introduce this, we start to have a lot of success. We change a lot of boys in position. We take more attention and characteristics. We give more complementary exercises than we made it before. I think it was the modern person we searched in the Chiefs coach.
So another observation from the presentation, which I thought was fascinating, was I mean there must have been 50 slides or close to the number, and says that you did not have one slide on a formation, a shape, a structure from top down. I think when people think of a talent factory, they think of okay, it's got to be streamlined from a formation or a shape or a tactical system. There's nothing there. Is that because you believe in adaptability and flexibility, or is that because you don't want to show me because it's a secret?
No, you don't have to go about it. I'm sure, I'm telling you, we work a lot. If it should be a secret, we work a lot of power of the decision. I don't kick the ball anymore. My coach don't kick the ball anymore. So we don't need to go make the decision in a match. We prepare the players. We tell them this is I use a more easy way. We train them. Oh, you have a difficult hard match. The team is like this, and then to compensate, we need to play like this. We tell them something like that. But we prepare them to make decisions during the match. So if someone's come from outside, okay, if we have the 3, you can attack with the 4. So you have more guys. They understand about some points, some topics of tactic topics that we want, like superiority to score, superiority to defend. They learn about this, and we have this in training process. But this is not a skill that comes from the first team. We'll never play everybody again because we also believe that the way that the team plays depends on the characteristics of the player that you have. Given an example, I have one coach that is now my technical coordinator from the youth for the youth. He was coaching many different stages here, many different age. He had one in all different ages, and he have always a different team. There was one tournament that he played with a 4-4-2 because he had two very fast strikers that can move in the middle or anything. The other year, he have two very fast guys and one big stripe, and he played 4-3-3. And he had another one striker that was very strong, that he can have the controlling attacking. He can receive on ball, stop, control, wait, maintain the defender. He can control two defender and give the ball for someone that is coming from. So in this year, he played 4-2-3-1. The same coach, 3 different years. He coached teams because the characteristics of the players showed him another way of play. And also the characteristics of players can show him to make a position different. So sometimes he needs to win, and that the player was not so good enough for that day. He put 2 players in the system just because of the characteristics of the players. So we respect also the characteristics of the players. That's why we are sure that no have a regulatory system. They will play in all different systems since they arrived in the first.
Yeah, it's probably worth be clear up that it's not to say that there was a tactical emphasis on the present day. There's a lot of tactical components of it, but there just was the numbers, which I think you played up really well. Other aspect going to the tactical system goes the data component of it. Can you talk a little bit about the growth in data over the last 5 years? The goal.
Yes, we have developed a lot of other finish. We put more guys inside, more details, and use the information. I don't want to know the number of passes that I have. I need to compare if this pass was useful or not. Was a good passing for assistant for score a goal, or it was a passing just to maintain the possession. This was a passing to don't get the risk to the back. So we want things that we could touch. And so when we attack. What was the side that we attacking more? What was the way that we aren't shooting? So how we develop our match with qualified information. I don't want numbers. I want informations. These are always bring by numbers, but when they are specified in many different positions, in many different circumstances, it can give value or not for that. It's useful for me to know that we get inside the opponent field 18 times in a match, they just get 10. Okay? But it's useful when I compare 18 times in the opponent field, how many shooting in the goal. This I need to compare. On this, I can have the great idea that's what we are doing, how the level of the things that we are proposing.
The ratio between coach and player, something that, let me get this right, as the player progresses in the development pathway, the ratio gets smaller, so the coach gets more hang.
In fact, it should be the opposite. It should be the opposite. So much younger the boy, more attention must give for the tails. But we are talking also about inversion. The inversion that I can have in groups before 14 years old will never be higher than the inversion that I had when they are much closer for the first team. So the inversion, the importance of each age makes that I have more guys and then I speed more. But if you try to have the things, it's not because you are putting less on the bottom. We are putting more on the tops because in the bottom you must have a lot of guys who actually take care of the boys. But when you see the table, we will see more because we need to invert more. So we put more guys. You have Shuf assistant goals in the under 20 and the under 14s you just have one. But because of the possibilities of version. But if you tell me, Andre, where will be the more useful information, more guys could guide it much better, it will be really a younger. Younger, you learn more when you get older. When you get older, you start to learn new things in a short, in a longer time, not so fast. When you are younger, you understand everything very, very quickly.
I should have asked this question when was talking about the data. One of the first things you said was the the goal and the objective of finding the player, what a player is going to look like in the next 10 years. And that, like when you walk around, when I walk around this facility and I've seen the multi layers to development, um, can you give us some insight on where you think, that evolution of the next 10-year talents when it was started?
Yes, we're working what the club thinks about this. Personally, I can tell you what I think it should be the future in 10 years. I feel just feeling that we don't have any more positions in sectors. Like if you are forward, you are forward for the left, for the right, for the middle. Maybe you can have all the three forwards in the same side to make a superiority to middle. I think this transition between positions will go into footage. You'll see more defenders attacking. We'll see more midfielders defending. You see more the guys taking different places in the world. But of course, if they run more, they will be more tired. So the guys that can do this in a high level when they are tired, that they have a good endurance, they will be always deciding the match because they are preparing for the endurance. And in the end of the match, they are still equality to score. What is not good was when you think that a player will play from first minute until 90 minutes from the same way of positive of happen. In the future, do you need to preserve it? It's not just runners who you will replay. But I think the what we can is objective is the not guardroom position, but functions.
She's fasting. With that physicality that you just talked about, you also in your kind of own supply development, you had athleticism and you also with speed. And I think in America, the US, we would have athleticism as speed. Can you talk about the differences between athleticism and speed?
Athletics is like the efficiency that you have in the kind of position that you have. So it's your body, it prepares you for your body for that position. And speed is all, we don't consider just the speed of running. We consider the speed of running into the ball, the speed of movements, the speed also in the season. Speed is something that is always coming back. You don't see, like in athletics, you don't see the players getting so slow. You see always them trying to get better, faster. And it's the same in sports. They are playing much well prepared physically so that they can put more speed in the fields. But it's something that nowadays, not speeded boy must compensate it with a very the power of decision. We still have players that are not so fast, but they are fast here. They are fast on feet. So once the guy is running, he is running for the place where the ball will come. So there are guys that rush 10 kilometers in a match, and they touch the ball maybe 100 times in a match. But there are guys that just run 5 kilometers, but they teach 200 because their balls always come because he make a good lecture, see that the ball will go there, and then he go there so to do a good passing. He doesn't go there just to give the ball netting. There are players that run, get the ball, and give it back to another guy. There are players that give the ball, they preach, they feel that they will go, and they change direction and start running in another direction. This kind of different kind of player is this. There's some of a lot of speeds. Speed in mind to make quick decision, speed in running, and speed in the ball. So speed is very important. But of course, if you just see the speed of running movements, you can find out it's similar to athleticism. No, athleticism is more that you have for your position
Yeah.
or a function.
At the American last night, obviously watched Edward play, and I thought is I don't know if you got like efficiency of like every time you need that his timing I thought was impeccable. Would he be was he good at that there whenever he was younger in terms of efficiency and his movement of
Yes, he succeeded a lot. He was Brazilian champion when we with Mende, and then we get in the first team he played, and he have more about learning, understanding, quickly thinkness than speed of run. You don't get the ball for a play like this and put him to run uh, 40 meters in the field. Sometimes the defender will be more faster than him, but you give the ball to him. Maybe with the ball, he can go two dribbles, receive, and get the ball back again. And when he's front of the goal.
Brilliant, yeah, yeah, it was very good. It was very good. And expectations, obviously, I'm learning in Brazil that yes, rich in football, rich in culture, but there's a massive pressure on the players, and that pressure a lot of it's external from families. Uh, you you showed me the psychology department, and there was also a hole on the wall. Uh, I mean, I'd say I've been to quite a few clubs. That's probably the most decorated psychology room I've seen. So it's obviously very, very big here. Is that looking at performance psychology support? Is that looking at everything?
Yes, what happens that in the past, there was psychologists as the one that treat the boys that are with trouble. When I was a young player, I heard about the psychologist, and everybody to know, yeah, this guy is doing very bad behavior. Send him to the psychologist. And it's not anymore like this. Yeah, we work with sporty psychologists. They walk in the field. They work together. They approach. The psychologists are the ones that point who are the leadership in the group, who can be a captain. They told about the troubles that they have in the relationship. They can teach one coach to approach one player in a better level. Just to make an example, there was one player that always suffered if his not father, but the husband of the mother. He always suffered with he always suffered on so many pressure, and he was never receiving because as he was not his parent, he never received it very well. And the psychologist showed the coach, you don't need to shout with this guy because he doesn't accept too many shout because he was shouting with the one that was not his father. And then he will progress more if you have confidence in you. And he always fighted against the coach before this time. After the intervention of the psychologist, he started to work in a different way of this boy. It happens that like 2 months after, this boy pointed to his coach as his best friends, his second father. I'm not talking about years of development. No, just because the coach approached the players in a way different that the psychologist told him, approach in a different way. And approach in a different way like a friend, like a someone. He grow up, and this boy started to be so level. So to a boy with a lot of troubles, he starts to be a leader. He's getting the Brazilian national team, and then it's what happens. This on reflection for the psychologist that didn't meet the job on the office. Did they make the observing the field, observing the behavior of the boy, observing what she can talk with him, and then bring the information. But not bringing the information to the coach, to the coach, no. To change sometimes the strategy of the coach to a more the work.
That quote was every action starts with a thought. That's all fine.
Yes, Freud thought that the thought is the beginning of an action.
That was it. Yeah. Yeah. Very powerful. And that psychologist is out watching, you have someone watching the practices as well.
Yeah, as they watch practices, they watch it match. The other thing that because of the inversion, they cannot travel overseas because they have limits. But usually in travels inside Brazil, they are all together.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, I've got three more for you. Something that as well I thought was really interesting. You know, the more I listen, the growth mindset here is exceptional. It is really powerful, and it seems to be a massive tool for your teaching or for your culture. The growth of coaches, feedback, reflection, get going back to presentations. You talked about this, the kind of session plan and the difference between, you know, doing an activity and doing a teaching exercise, reflecting whether learning happened.
That's what happened. When we put the player in the center of the process, it's not what you teach, it's not what you give. You are not giving exercise, you are training me. So training must bring grower, must bring developments. So you need to compare. Before that kind of exercise, how he was, if he didn't develop nothing, it's not his fault. Your exercise was not good enough to change his mind. So you need to have another strategy to make him in a high level, to bring him higher. The strategy will be, we must think on this. So when you just think on acting and not on teaching, you give the exercise, oh, I make a great exercise, and it's enough. Because you are not having empathy. You are not looking for the other one. What we are talking about is looking for the other one and what he of that. This is the most important.
We talked a little bit about America. You talk a little bit about the United States. You're over the summer. And one of the first things I said to me when we were out watching practice was the fact that context is key. You can't take this model that some coaches think you put it anywhere. In the US, we obviously have cultural challenges, creativity challenges, technical challenges. What would you recommend? How we fix those or
Don't stop. Don't think it's enough. Think it's never enough. Have a capacity to go one step ahead. What happens that when you have an environment that you have reached the level that you can think, oh, I'm good. I really developed the water. I pretend. Okay, but why you don't have bigger objectives? You know, when we have in the past what a sentence, some sentence for the players. First objective of our player in Brazil, of course, the US would be different. In Brazil, the first is taking part in a trial and succeed to get inside the club. Second objective, be registered of this club, not just a mandate path. Be registered to play official match. Third one, be listed for the match. Fourth one, be started in the match. Next one, should be a so good player that you can play one step ahead in the older chips. And then you can reach the national chip. What happens with a lot of guys that doesn't understand this process? When they are entering the club, they think they can go to the national team without fault. No, you never reach there if you don't reach the other guys, the other puppies. So there is a scale that you need to grow up. You need to climb the stairs. And what happens when you are in a place that you think that you already have reached your level? So find another level, find another hamre. I saw some movies. Americans are very fantastic to make movies. But it's great movies. No, it's movies of sports. You know, I saw one movie on sport that inspired me a lot because it showed that once he won the first, everybody, how he did a man, and he told, no, I don't want to win this. I don't know. I want to win the national. Well, but to get the national, you need to pass in the stage. You just won the regionals. No, I won. You won the region, but I won the nationals, and I was shocked because no one at that time supposed that they could win the regionals, and it changed their minds. And this kind of things that you see is what we need. These spirits that you show from good examples must be the spirit to show you develop some players. Okay, so let's move step ahead. Let's take these boys from this zone where they are most at the top. Let's put one zone bigger. Let's put these boys to confrontate the other side of US. Let's take this voice overseas to learn what they have outside. When someone go overseas and change his mind about culture, learning, techniques, and feeling of sports, for any sports, exchanging with different countries is very, very good.
Hmm. You might have answered the last question with that answer as well, because the last question was the exchange program that you discussed, and how put the legs below for the coaches to look at and the players to look at. Um, I was thinking when I was eating lunch, I was thinking, and this might be an interesting question. For the exchange program for players to come and experience this, if I was a coach and I thought, you know what, I wonder if I'm good enough to coach a Fluminense, say, what would you say would be the top 1 2 3 characteristics of a coach to work here?
First of all, the coach must understand the philosophy, the methodology of the club. So he must understand that he's not the center of the process. He's preparing 30 persons, he's preparing 40 players. They are the center of the process. Jojo is to perform these players in a high level. So this is first example to look on the other side, not inside of you. The second is cooperation. If you cooperate with another poach, the other poach cooperates with you. With cooperation, you can join all of the aids. You can join all of the books. You can take them more from me. Whenever the guys ask me, Andre, what's your job nowadays? Oh, I do with the international bureaus a lot, but what's the job for technical coordinator? Is coaching the coach to the better coach. It means that we must prepare the coach should take the best from the player. And there can be the third one about the coach. Never, never leave. Never put the towel down. Always try to do the best. Always try to be better than you are. Don't think on the top first. Think in being better than you were last year or last month. If you grow up a lot, every year you grow a little bit, you grow a lot in future. Maybe I can have a poach in 30s. Some year he will be poach in reaches. But not because they win the match, because their players succeeds. Mm.
It's not prepare or when it's prepare and when observe.
Says trying to win, you prepare. If you don't try to win, if you don't try, better, okay, make our company, achieve much better that you can. Because trying to win, you will develop. What's the difference with a school that don't compete? You give 2 trainings and they go back home. With a school that competes, but a small school that competes, you must try to be in the list to compete. So you train much better because you want to be the weekend match. When you have a big school that competes, with other ones. You want to be on this one that you can compete on the school and with the network of the schools. When you get inside a team that can play overseas, sometimes you need to win the regionals, win the nationals to go to the internationals. So you need to train more when you are going to the regionals, because if you don't meet the regionals, you won't get in the station. If you don't get in the nationals, you won't go to the internationals. So you must train harder to get in the international. Now you go in the international, you must train harder on because you have to be more hard. So never stopping, never forgetting your objective is.
Brilliant. Andre, what a way to finish it. Thank you so much for your hospitality and your generosity. This has been amazing.
I hope you love everything, especially the food, because my kids is very good.
With dessert. Thank you.